Mei was a lonely, ghost-talking freak who couldn't even keep her friends from running away until one night, a shady magician's trick sent her spiraling into the Meiji era, where her curse became her greatest power. Now, stuck in a world of spirits, sword-wielding weirdos, and a flirty army surgeon who won't stop calling her his fiancée, Mei must decide to cling to the past where no one wanted her, or embrace a future where hot guys do anything for her. But before any of this, on the night of a strawberry full moon, a young girl walks silently behind a group of her classmates, who are laughing and chatting excitedly about everything except including her. Watching them, memories flood back to her. She remembers when she used to laugh like that too, when life felt bright and full of fun. Her name is Mei, and she once spent every birthday happily with her friends. But things began to change. The fun slowly faded away the year Mei started talking to ghosts on her birthday. Her friends were creeped out when Mei told them that the ghosts she spoke to were actually her friends. That's when it became clear only Mei could see and talk to them. She had been able to communicate with spirits ever since she was little, but as she grew older, it started to set her apart. Slowly, the other kids began avoiding her, whispering that she was weird for always talking to people who weren't there. Eventually, everyone kept their distance and Mei came to the painful realization that no one else could hear the ghosts, only she could. Back in the present, Mei is busy listening to her music when the other kids wonder if they should invite her, and one of them asks her if she wants to join them. However, Mei turns down the girls' offer to join them, and the others quickly pull her away, whispering that Mei is just a loner who talks to creepy ghosts. After the girls walk off, someone calls out Mei's name, but she pretends not to hear and puts on her headphones, letting the music block everything out. As the night grows even darker, Mei walks alone down a nearby street. There, she comes across a small crowd gathered around a street performer. It's a traveling magician named Charlie, and he's putting on a magic show. He reveals a black box and tells everyone watching that anything placed inside this box will completely vanish. Charlie announces that he's going to demonstrate how the black box can make anything vanish, even something as big as an elephant or a tank. He turns to the crowd and asks if anyone would like to be part of the act. The audience stays silent, but then Charlie's eyes land on Mei and says she'll be his assistant for the trick. He takes Mei up on the stage and shows the trick, saying that she will disappear when he counts down from 3. Mei closes her eyes as he starts counting, and when she opens them, she's suddenly lying on a street with her phone broken beside her. She looks around, confused, and then sees an old school cart coming toward her. A red-haired guy comes out of it and asks if she's okay. Mei can't stop blushing and feels really nervous, but then things get weird when the guy starts acting creepy and touches her legs, which makes her feel even more uncomfortable. Suddenly, another guy shows up too, but the red-haired one looks even more shocked when he notices what Mei is wearing. His reaction gets even stranger, and it makes Mei feel a bit uneasy. The second guy, who has yellow hair, says they're running out of time and asks Mei if she has a place to go, offering to give her a ride. At first, Mei says no and tries to turn them down, but the yellow-haired guy tells her that if she stays out here alone, some stray dogs might come after her, so it's safer to go with them. Mei starts to realize that she doesn't even remember where her home is, since she just woke up in this strange place. The red-haired guy, who acts a bit like a goofy cartoon character, asks her if she wants to come along with them. After that, they take her with them in a horse-drawn coach. While they ride, the red-haired guy turns to her and asks what her name is, but Mei is surprised to find out that she doesn't even remember her own name. The red-haired guy then tells her his name is Mori and says that he works as an army surgeon. After that, the other guy tells her his name is Hishida Shanzo and explains that he's a student studying art. Later on, Mori asks Mei what her name is again. Mei pauses and seems unsure, but then someone nearby says her name out loud. After hearing it, Mei tells Mori that her name is Mei. After that, they arrive at a fancy ball hosted by Inoue Keiru, who is the Japanese Minister for Foreign Affairs. He's holding the event to build a better relationship with Prince Nicholas II of Russia. Mei looks around and asks where they are, so Shunso tells her that the place is called Rokamaikan. Suddenly, everyone starts looking at Mei strangely, thinking she is some weirdo. After that, Mei smells the smell of roast beef and follows it, but she accidentally bumps into a waiter. The dish the waiter was carrying falls onto someone, but Kyuka quickly catches it and then throws it away. Then, the stage actor Otojiro Kawakami grabs the dish. Kawakami starts flirting with Mei, saying that she just wants to dance with him, even though he already has a whole line of women who are crazy about him. Suddenly, a Japanese folklore researcher named Yukumo Kazumi and an inspector holding a katana called Goru Fujita show up. Then Charlie shows up for a moment and says he has been looking for her for a long time. Mei asks what happened to her when she went inside the box, so Charlie explains that he didn't know he could make someone disappear, but instead, he sent her to Tokyo during the Meiji era. Suddenly, the lights go out, and a glowing sphere with a kitsune fox inside appears, jumping all over the place, but only Mei and Kyuka are able to see it. The kitsune creates a lot of chaos and frightens everyone around. Mei quickly stops Goru from striking the kitsune because he believes Mei really can see spirits. When the lights turn back on, Mori steps forward and boldly declares that Mei is his fiancée. The next morning, Mei wakes up inside Mori's big mansion and starts thinking about what happened the night before. She remembers that when Mori called her his fiancée, Kazumi stepped in and got curious about the uniform she was wearing. He said her design looked smart and fresh, and also something new and different. But then Mori quickly points out that she's wearing a short skirt, and after that, both Mori and Kazumi begin acting silly and kind of goofy. After that, Mori grabs Mei's hand and starts walking away with her, saying that if they hang around any longer, the police officer might come looking for them. It turns out the talk about her school uniform was just a way to distract everyone and bring her into his mansion last night, along with Shanzo. On top of losing her memory, Mei has a hard time getting used to life in the Meiji era, since everything around her is so different from the world she's used to in modern times. Back in the present, Mei suddenly bursts into Shanzu's room while he's busy working on one of his paintings. She quickly tells him that they're under attack by some bad guys, but Shanzo explains that it's just the midday cannon. He says it doesn't shoot anything dangerous. It just makes a loud sound to let everyone know it's new. After that, Mei starts looking at the paintings in his room and thinks they are really beautiful. Then Mori shows up, playfully calls Mei a little squirrel, and not long after, his maid Fumi comes in to help him with something. However, Mei asks Mori who he's calling a little squirrel, and Mori tells her that it's her, because that's what popped into his head when they first met, and he saw her shaking. Then he asks if she remembers anything about her home or her parents, but Mei says she doesn't remember anything at all. She starts thinking about whether she should tell Mori about Charlie and his magic, but decides not to, since she's pretty sure he wouldn't believe her anyway. However, Mori tells her that she's welcome to stay at his place until she gets her memory back. Mei thanked him and says she'll do her best to remember everything as soon as possible. But then, Mori suddenly acts a little freaky and says with a smile that she can stay here forever if she wants, which makes the moment feel a bit awkward for Mei. After that, Mori asks Mei what she wants to eat, but she tries to be polite and says that just staying here is already enough for her. Right then, her stomach growls loudly and she gets embarrassed. She finally says that she wants to eat a beef bowl. Both Mori and Shanzo look confused by her answer, and Mei quickly explains that it doesn't have to be fancy, since a cheap one only costs about 380 yen. As soon as they hear that, both of them freak out and ask if she's trying to buy the whole palace with that much money. They start to think maybe she comes from some super rich family. However, Mei starts to realize that since she's in a different time period, she needs to be more careful when talking about prices. Later, she tries to put on a kimono, but she struggles because she doesn't know how to wear it the right way. While trying, she notices Fumi cleaning the whole mansion all by herself, and it hits her that they don't have vacuum cleaners in this era. Then Fumi helps Mei fix her kimono and shows her how to wear it the right way. When Mei walks out dressed properly, Mori sees her and can't stop staring. After that, Mori and Shanzo take Mei to a sukiyaki restaurant, and she starts enjoying the food with a big smile. Watching her eat happily, Mori turns to Shanzo and says this moment reminds him of the day they first met. He then starts telling the story how 1 year ago, after he finished taking a shower and stepped out of the bathroom, he saw Shanzo petting a black cat. So, Shanzo drew a really cool sketch of the black cat sitting on the grass. Mori looked at it and felt amazed, then said that Shanzo would become one of the top artists in Japan one day. Back in the present, Mei asks Mori if that's how the two of them ended up living together. Mori nods and says that when he saw the drawing Shanzo made for him, he truly believed this guy would one day carry the future of Japanese art on his shoulders. Afterward, Mori asks Mei if she likes cats and then asks her if she finds Shanzo's black cat. Mei gets excited after hearing that Shanzo had a black cat, and then Mori says that his exhibition is coming soon. Mei says that she can help by creating posters, but then Mori says something unexpected, that her powers as a tamayori, someone who can see spirits, will be needed to find Shanzo's cat. Mei asks him what a tamayori is, so Mori explains that it's someone who could see spirits and that most of the spirits went hiding in Japan and the tamayori's numbers continued to decrease. Afterward, they begin eating their food and Mei realizes that this might be the same black cat that she saw missing in Shanzo's painting, and Mori agrees. At night in the park, Mei finds Charlie, who promises that he'll send her back to her own time during the next full moon, which is in 1 month. Charlie tells Mei to relax, be herself, and enjoy the life she has here for now. His words make her feel better, and she gets the idea to make homemade mops to help Fumi with cleaning. After that, she heads off to look for Shanzo's black cat that has gone missing. The next day, Mei and Shanzo are made to eat a weird dessert with tea and rice that tastes really awful. But Mori insists that it's the most delicious dessert in the whole world. He picks up a spoon, takes a big bite, and then uses his hand to force Mei to eat some too. After making both of them try the dessert, even though they clearly don't like it, Mei and Shanzo finally leave the house. As they walk away, Mei cries and complains about how terrible the food tasted. Shanzo notices something in Mei's hand and asks her what she's holding. Mei tells him it's katsuobushi, and she borrowed it from Fumi. Shanzo looks confused and asks if she's planning to find the black cat using that. Mei says yes, that's exactly her plan, and asks if cats even like katsuobushi. Shanzo tells her that the cat is actually a ghost cat. Mei thinks about it and says that since it's still a cat, even ghost cats should like it. But Shanzo then asks how she plans to find it during the day, since he heard she can't see ghosts unless it's during the dark hours. Just then, Mei and Shanzo see Kazumi talking to Kyuka and decide to go over and say hi. Kazumi sees Mei and remembers her from the Rokamaikan event. He asks her what her name was again, and Mei tells him her name and says that she remembers both him and Kyuka, which makes Kazumi really happy. Kyuka calls Mei a strange girl, but Mei suddenly notices a weird smell coming from Kyuka. She quickly realizes the smell is coming from the rabbit she saw with him that night. After hearing that, Kyuka figures out that Mei can see spirits. He then tells Kazumi to let Mei handle his request because she is a tamayori, someone who can connect with spirits. Kazumi quickly begs Mei to help him because he really wants to see Jane again. Later on, Kazumi visits Mori's mansion and tells him that he needs Mei to find a ghost named Jane. Mei soon realizes that Kazumi isn't scared, he just wants to be friends with a ghost. Kazumi explains that when he was younger, he used to see ghosts just like Mei can now, and Jane and he became close like a brother and sister. Kazumi explains that Jane has always taken care of him since he was a little kid. But one day, he saw her real face, which had no eyes, no nose, and no mouth, just a blank, empty face. He got really scared, and because of that, Jane suddenly vanished. Back in the present, Kazumi tells them that after he hurt his left eye in an accident, he lost the ability to see spirits. Kazumi now thinks Jane is punishing him and he believes the strange events that happened on the full moon night are her way of showing it. After hearing all this, Mori says he can't let his fiancée get involved in something like that. But Mei quickly tells him she wants to help. Since Mori has an important meeting and can't go himself, he decides to send Shanzo to go with Mei instead. Mori tells Shanzo very strictly to protect Mei no matter what, because he can't stand the thought of anyone hurting her. After that, Kazumi, Mei, and Shanzo stay at a hotel together, and it turns out Mei and Shanzo have to share the same room. Shanzo asks Mei how she feels about Mori calling her his fiancée, and Mei says it made her really happy. Then, Shanzo begins sketching something and tells Mei that it's supposed to be a ghost. But Mei smiles and says she's never really seen a scary ghost before, only cute ones. Hearing that, Shanzo says he's a little jealous of her. He wishes he could see the other world like she can, and says that if he were a tamayori, he would love to paint that world. As he keeps talking, Mei slowly falls asleep, resting her head on his shoulder. But then, she suddenly opens her eyes and notices that Jane has appeared in their hotel room. Kazumi and Garu arrive soon after and end up smashing the whole room. While acting as a medium, Mei explains that Jane, who is heartbroken, tried to reach out to Shanzo during the full moon night. Mei makes it clear that Jane never wanted to cause him pain and promises that she will always be by his side. She thanks Yakumo and Shanzo for accepting her power, and then Ogai comes to escort Mei, feeling relieved that she is safe. The next day, Mei wakes up and is surprised to see Mori's aunt at the house. She looks at Mei and asks Mori who the girl is. Without thinking much, Mori tells his aunt that Mei is his fiancée. As soon as she hears that, Mori's aunt totally freaks out. She can't believe that out of all the girls in the world, he picked someone like Mei. She scolds him and says it's like he doesn't even understand his role as the oldest son of the important Mori family. She tells Mori very strictly that he has to pick a girl from the pictures she brought for him. But Mori says there's no girl better suited for the family than Mei. That makes his aunt really angry, and she storms out right away. After she leaves, Mori tells Mei and Shanzo that his aunt saw Mei at the ball event before and now comes to visit him often, bringing pictures of girls she wants him to meet. Shanzo thinks Mori's aunt will definitely come back tomorrow, but Mori says he already has a plan. He explains that next month there will be a big party at the Rokamaikan, and important people from many different groups will be there. At that party, he plans to officially introduce Mei as his fiancée. Later, Mei thinks that Mori is doing this in order to protect her, so she doesn't feel sad about it. Afterward, Mori takes her to Asakusa to spend time and to see a stall selling picture postcards filled with female customers. It turns out the stall is selling pictures of a man named Kawakami, who is an actor. Mori tells Mei that she met Kawakami at the Rokomaikan before, but Mei doesn't remember him at all. Mori laughs and says he's glad she doesn't remember such a handsome man. After that, Mori takes Mei to try a popular ice cream, and Mei happily enjoys every bite of it. After that, Mori takes Mei to get some pictures taken, and Mei thinks photography is really expensive back then because she realizes the price could buy 300 bowls of sukiyaki. Later, they visit the Tokiwa Theater, where Mei and Mori talk about the music and the play. Mori explains that it's a love-hate story about a tragic relationship. Mei also talks with Mori about the meaning behind the famous opening line, "To be, or not to be," from Hamlet by William Shakespeare. After that, the play starts, and there's a part where they mention a diamond costing 300 yen. Mei thinks that's super cheap, but Mori explains that amount is actually worth around 60 million bowls of sukiyaki. Then, a play expert gives a speech about the story, and soon they reveal the main actor Otojiro, who turns out to be the hero of the show. Otojiro gives a really great performance in the play The Golden Demon, written by the famous author Koyo Ozaki. Otojiro's performance is so amazing that all the girls in the audience are staring at him without blinking, totally amazed by how cool he is. As Mei watches him speak on stage, she starts wondering where she might be in life by next year. Later, she's shocked when they arrive in Asakusa and sees how tall the buildings are. Mori says taking her outside was a good idea if it helps her get her memories back faster. After that, he takes her to the most expensive restaurant in the city where they eat beef steak. Mori says she's actually really talented when it comes to eating, but then Mei looks around and notices that a lot of people in the place don't even seem to know proper table manners. Mori then asks Mei if she thinks she can handle a formal introduction in front of important people, but Mei quickly says no, that she definitely can't deal with something like that. Right after, Mori starts acting all sweet and flirty again, but Mei feels super awkward and ends up flinging her knife by accident. The knife flies through the air and lands on a woman's head, though luckily, she's not hurt. It turns out the woman already knows Mori, and her name is Arima. Then, Arima introduces her daughter, Shino, who looks so beautiful that Mei thinks she could be a goddess straight out of a movie. Arima looks at Mori and asks who the girl with him is, and Mori tells her that Mei is his fiancée. Both Arima and her daughter are shocked to hear that. Then, Arima turns to Mei and asks which noble family she comes from. Before Mei can say anything, Mori answers and tells them that Mei isn't from a noble family at all. Hearing that, Arima looks disappointed and leaves with her daughter. Seeing how perfect and elegant the daughter is, Mei starts to feel bad. Later, back at the mansion, Mei begins acting distant, like she doesn't belong, and feels like she's being left out of everything. Mei tells Shanzo that she doesn't feel pretty enough and asks him if she even looks like someone who could be Mori's fiancé. Shanzo reminds her that she was chosen by Mori himself, and he's a really successful and respected person, so that must mean something. Later on, while Mei is walking through the streets, she can't stop staring at all the beautiful, elegant women passing by, who look like goddesses. But then her eyes catch a strange-looking girl who doesn't act like the others and even talks kind of like a guy. That woman ends up punching a creepy man with a weird mustache who tries to flirt with her. Mei runs up to her and asks if she can help make her into a real woman. The tough woman looks at her and says that maybe she has her own reasons too. She tells Mei that her name is Otoyako and promises to help turn her into a proper, real woman. After that, the woman takes Mei to a geisha house close by in Kagurazaka and she shows Mei the small room where she will stay. Mei looks around and asks the woman what a geisha house is, so the woman explains that this is a place where girls come from many places in Japan to live and learn special things. She says she has learned things like how to do a tea ceremony, how to arrange flowers nicely, how to play the shamisen, how to write poems called taika and how to dance well. Mei then asks if by learning all these things here, she can become like a fancy lady from a noble family, and the woman smiles and says yes, because girls and even ghosts can become anything they want if they work hard and wish for it. Otoyako then asks Mei if she wants her to teach her all these things and Mei quickly says yes because she really wants to become a perfect and proper Japanese woman one day. After that, Otoyako starts pointing out a few things that Mei already does badly, like how she does not even know how to wear her kimono the right way and how she does not have any manners when it comes to taking off her shoes at the door. Otoyako then explains to Mei that a young woman from a noble family starts learning how to serve tea and arrange flowers when she is very little, so trying to turn into a lady in just one night is going to be very hard for her. Otoyako then tells Mei to hurry up and take off her clothes, but Mei misunderstands and starts taking off everything she is wearing, which makes Otoyako shout at her in a deep, rough voice. Right away, Otoyako laughs a little and says she just has a habit of yelling at new girls who come here. After that, Otoyako shows Mei how to dress herself properly because knowing how to wear clothes the right way is one of the most important things a woman must do before stepping outside. While Otoyako is fixing Mei's hair, she asks Mei why she wants to work so hard to learn all this. Mei answers that there is someone special who always takes care of her, so she wants to look pretty for him and not embarrass him. After that, Otoyako puts some makeup on Mei's face to make her look nicer and then leans in as if she wants to kiss her but stops herself at the last second. She then notices that Mei is wearing her kimono the wrong way again, so she helps her fix it properly. Otoyako asks Mei if her lover has never told her how to wear it right, but Mei shakes her head and says he never really cares about those things at all. After that, Otoyako starts teaching Mei how to walk properly by using a stick, and every time Mei does it the wrong way, Otoyako taps the stick hard and lightly hits her legs to correct her. Later, someone comes in and says that it is time for dinner, but Otoyako tells Mei that she will not give her any fancy food tonight. Even so, she actually gives Mei a small piece of fish to eat, but when Mei starts eating, she does it in a messy and wrong way, so Otoyako loses her patience and hits her again to teach her how a proper lady should eat politely. Sometime later, Mori quietly leaves the geisha house, and it turns out that Otoyako is really Otojiro dressed up like a geisha to teach Mei. After this, Mei goes back to the mansion and finds Mori waiting right in front of her. He starts acting all sweet and caring again and tells her not to stay out so late because it can be dangerous for her. Mei then runs down the hallway and by accident bumps into Shanzo, who teases her by saying that maybe she is too curious and is secretly peeking at the amusement quarters like a naughty child. Shanzo stands in the hallway, and since he already guesses Mei's secret, he asks her if she can pose as a model for his new paintings. Mei quickly says no because she thinks she does not have a nice enough body for that. Just then, Shanzo shows up and says that he will not let Shanzo bother or upset Mei like this. Mori also steps in and warns Shanzo to choose his words more carefully when he asks someone, especially a girl like Mei, to pose for his pictures. During her next training session with Otojiro the following day, Mei sees Kyoko on the street running away from a barking dog that keeps chasing him. Feeling sorry for him, Mei quickly calls out to him and invites him to come inside her room to the geisha house so he can hide safely and not get chased by the dog anymore. Mei tells Kyuka that she is feeling really hungry, so Kyuka kindly gives her an anpan to eat. However, Mei notices Kyuka burning another anpan over a flame, and she gets confused and asks him what kind of strange ceremony he is doing. Kyuka explains to her that he is not doing any ceremony at all but is just sterilizing the anpan because he likes everything super clean and does not trust who might have touched the food before. Right at that moment, Otojiro comes in and catches Kyuka and Mei sitting there with some cushions that are also burning by accident. Then, Otojiro tells Mei that there will be a big banquet happening tonight, but they do not have enough geisha girls to help with it, so Otojiro wants Mei to join and take part as one of them. Mei quickly agrees and offers to work as a geisha for the fancy banquet that night, so Otojiro starts teaching her how to behave properly at parties and how to follow good manners. At the same time, Mori asks Shanzo to come with him to a very special party happening that evening too, where an inventor named Tosuke Wasaki is planning to talk about new electric generators and how they work. Suddenly, Kyuka walks into the room, looking so perfect that he seems like a true goddess, but he is very angry and says that there is no way he will work as a common geisha girl. Otojiro, not caring much, tells Kyuka that if he refuses, then he must pay for the tatami mats he ruined instead. Otojiro also tells both that if everything goes smoothly tonight, they might even get extra money along with their normal pay. After hearing this, Mei asks what kind of people are going to come to the banquet, and Otojiro explains that all the top and important people from all over Japan will be there tonight. Later that night, they arrive at the big event, and Mei spots Kazumi in the crowd. Both of them are shocked to see each other in that place. Kazumi quickly asks Mei what she is doing there working as a waitress like a geisha girl. Before Mei can answer, Shanzo also shows up at the party. When Mei sees Shanzo, she starts to wonder if Mori is here too, but Shanzo tells her that Mori is on his way and will come soon. Kazumi then looks at Mei and asks if this is the secret job she has been hiding from Mori all this time, and when Mei nods her head yes, Kazumi promises that she will not tell anyone and will keep Mei's secret safe. After that, Mei keeps doing her work as a waitress at the party but then she suddenly runs right into Mori. Before Mori can say much, Otojiro appears and tells Mori that Mei is working so hard tonight for someone she really loves and wants to take care of. Otojiro then tells Mori to stop standing there and to go back inside the house to help serve the other guests. After that, Mori asks Otojiro if Mei is really working here as an apprentice geisha now, and Otojiro nods and says yes. But Otojiro also says that he can't allow such a special girl like Mei to be wasted on a guy like Mori who doesn't deserve her. Meanwhile, on the other side of the hall, Mei is having trouble because some drunk noblemen who start bothering and harassing Kyuka. Mei helps him and says what he is doing is harassment, but then another old geezer starts teasing Mei and Kyuka, but then Shanzo arrives and saves Mei from the old geezers. However, Kyuka starts getting bothered and teased again by some people, so he decides to run away and quit being a geisha altogether. Mei wants to help him escape, but Shanzo stops her and says that since Kyuka is actually a man, he can take care of himself without her help. Even so, Mei does not listen and still decides to help Kyuka out anyway. After this, Tosuk is introduced to the nobleman at the party, but then suddenly, Charlie appears in disguise out of nowhere. Shanzo whispers to Mei that the man she just saw is actually Tosuk, a famous investor and a top person in electrical research and inventions. After that, Charlie starts showing his magic tricks and even brings out a real camel from Egypt, which surprises everyone at the party. Mori gets curious and decides to check out the camel, but when he touches it, the camel suddenly goes wild and chases all the noblemen around the event hall, causing a big commotion. After things calm down, Charlie goes up to Mei and tells her that she seems to be having fun here, but she needs to stay patient until the full moon comes. Then, Charlie suddenly disappears into thin air, and the whole banquet room looks magically clean as if nothing happened. Right after that, Fukuzawa shows up and Mei notices he is the same man she saw on the note earlier. Also, Goru appears at the banquet too because he is working as a bodyguard for the famous author Fukuzawa Yukichi, who has come to listen to Tosuk's important talk about electricity. However, the noblemen start to argue and rebel against Tosuk's idea to spend money on electricity and use it for the city because they believe it has too many dangers and problems. They shout that electricity is just the devil's light that brings bad luck and death to people, and they do not stop there. They all keep yelling at Tosuk and call his plan useless and foolish. Not wanting to just stand there and do nothing, Mei steps forward and bravely tell everyone about all the good things electricity can do. She lists many modern benefits, like how it can help light up streets, make work easier, and help people live safer and better lives. Hearing Mei's brave words, Fukuzawa feels very impressed and decides that he is willing to spend his money to support Tosuk's work on electricity. While the banquet starts up again and everyone calms down, Mori takes Mei outside for some fresh air. There, he tells her that he knows she has been learning and getting trained by Otojiro, who was actually pretending to be a geisha the whole time. Mori smiles and says that Mei has a special charm that makes everyone around her feel happy and drawn to her. Because of this, Mori asks Mei if she would like to stay with him and live in his mansion forever as part of his life. After that, Mei thinks deeply about what Charlie told her the night before, that he can send her back home when the next full moon comes. While she is thinking, it suddenly starts to rain heavily. At the same time, Shanzo and Mori talk to each other and wonder why it is raining so much out of nowhere and notice that the water level in Shinabazu Pond has gone up a lot. Shanzo tells Mori that the supernatural division is getting active right now because of the strange weather. Soon, the rain starts to stop and Mei smiles and tells Shanzo that now they can finally go and look for his black cat together. After that, Mei and Mori go together to the park to help find his black cat, but while they are looking, they run into a blue-haired guy who is feeding some pigeons. All of a sudden, the pigeons turn wild and start chasing Mei and Shanzo, so they run away and end up near Shinabazu Pond. While catching their breath, they suddenly hear Kyuka singing a song while hiding in a nearby bush. Later, Kyuka comes out and tells them that the dragon goddess from his play has escaped, and she is actually a divine spirit. Mei asks him what happened after the dragon goddess ran away. Kyuka explains that she came here to the Shinabazu Pond and says that the play he is writing now, called Demon Pond, is really about the story of this same dragon goddess. Kyuka also explains to Mei and Shanzo that Shirayuki, the dragon goddess, is deeply in love with Senya Pond and that she has only one wish to leave the pond and be with the man she truly loves. But because of an old promise made a long time ago, she is not allowed to leave the pond, and if she breaks that promise, Shirayuki will lose her life. Kyuka goes on to say that on the night of the recent red full moon, Shirayuki became scared that the play he was writing about her would have a sad ending, so she decided to escape from the pond to avoid that tragic fate. Mei then asks if Shirayuki would be reunited with her lover in the play he is writing, but Kyuka says he doesn't know that as he can't continue to write unless Shirayuki returns to the play. Mei says that she wants to do something to help, but Kyuka asks what she can do as the guys from the supernatural division are skulking around, too. Mei tells him that if Shirayuki is slain by Fujita, Demon Pond will remain unfinished. Back at the mansion, Mori gets a bit strict and tells Mei that she was supposed to be looking for Shansu's black cat, but now she is going near a place that could be dangerous. Mori says that Mei must find Shansu's cat first before doing anything else. He also reminds her that he is not a Tamayori, so he cannot sense if any danger is coming close to her, which means she needs to be more careful. Then, Mori changes the topic and asks Mei if she knows how to speak English because he wants her to give a presentation in English at an upcoming event. After Mei leaves Mori's room, she bumps into Shanzo in the hallway. Shanzo tells her that Kyuka is the only one who can fix the problem with Shirayuki and make things right again. Later, back at the pond, Kyuka is surprised when he sees Mei coming back to Shinabazu Pond by herself. Mei sits quietly beside the water and talks to Shirayuki, asking her to go back to Kyuka. She says that she knows it is very painful to never be with the one you love, but sometimes you have to accept it and do what is right, even if it hurts. Just then, Shirayuki shows her true monstrous form when Goru suddenly attacks her in the middle of Shinabazu Pond. Kyuka shouts to everyone that Shirayuki has lost control of herself and is too dangerous now. She then charges toward Mei and tries to attack her, but Kyuka jumps in and pushes Mei out of the way just in time. Kyuka pleads with Shirayuki to come back to him, reminding her that he is the one who created her with his story and his words. After that, Shirayuki appears in her real form and sadly says that if it were not for that old promise she is tied to, she could stay with her beloved forever and be happy for all eternity. Just as Shirayuki gets ready to attack everyone again, Mei bravely jumps into the pond to stop her. Mei sinks under the water, but even while she is struggling to breathe, she talks to Shirayuki and begs her to go back to Kyuka because the man she loves lives inside Kyuka's heart. Suddenly, Mori arrives just in time and pulls Mei out of the water, saving her from drowning. At the same time, Kyuka goes into the pond himself and holds Shirayuki tightly in his arms, telling her to come back to him because he wants to share his life and dreams with her forever. After Kyuka and Shirayuki hug each other, Shirayuki finally calms down and returns back inside Kyuka, becoming part of him again. The next morning, Mei wakes up in her room inside the mansion with her muscles feeling really sore and tired from everything that happened. As she sits up and thinks about it all, Kyuka comes to see her and happily tells her that his play will be finished and ready to perform next month, which makes Mei realize how much they have all been through together. Meanwhile, Goru has a dream about his past where he is fighting with Satome, who turned into someone evil and dangerous. In the dream, Satome looks like he has been taken over by a ghost or dark spirit, but Goru still manages to defeat him and kill him in the end. Suddenly, Goru wakes up from this scary nightmare and finds himself back in the present. At the same time, Mei is practicing the waltz dance with Mori and Shanzo feels jealous when he overhears Mori saying that he wants to show Mei off in front of everyone and let the whole world see how beautiful and graceful she is. Shanzo gets fed up watching Mei and Mori dance together, so he decides to leave and look for a place full of cats so he can find his missing black cat. Mei sees this as the perfect chance to escape from creepy Mori for a while too, so she follows Shanzo. Shanzo asks Mei if she wouldn't stay behind and practice her dance with Mori, but Mei says that helping him find his cat is way more important to her right now. Just then, Kazumi shows up and looks suspicious. Kazumi asks Mei and Shanzo if they are heading somewhere, so Mei explains that they are looking for a black cat that has gone missing. Kazumi smiles and says that the cafe he is about to visit happens to be a special place where lots of cats gather all the time. While they walk together, Kazumi tells them that it is a secret spot that not many people know about, but he will let them come in with him this time. Suddenly, as they keep walking, they hear Kyuka and Ozaki's voices nearby and see the two of them standing in the street, loudly arguing with each other. Otojiro looks at Mei and wonders who she is, thinking she might be one of his readers, but he then introduces himself as Ozaki Koyo, the most famous writer in Asia. Suddenly, Mei realizes that Kyuka is actually the famous writer who wrote The Golden Demon, because she remembers going to see his theater play with Mori not long ago. While they are talking, Ozaki starts flirting with Mei and saying charming things to her, but Kazumi quickly jumps in and jokes that Mei is already engaged to him, trying to stop Ozaki. All of a sudden, a stray dog appears and starts chasing Kyuka again, making him run like crazy. Mei runs after them, yelling at Kyuka to stop running away and face the dog properly. Out of nowhere, Otojiro shows up right in front of Kyuka and hits him to make him stop. After all the chaos, they finally reach the cat cafe, but to Mei's surprise, it turns out to be Goru's house. It is also revealed that Goru is actually really good at housekeeping and keeps the place nice and clean for all the cats. Goru scolds everyone for peeking into his house without permission and says they should not treat his place like some public cafe. But Otojiro laughs and tells Goru that since they are already inside, he should at least serve them some tea. Mei then asks Goru if he likes cats, but he quickly says no, acting annoyed. Kazumi chuckles and explains to Mei that Cafe Fujita is really just Goru's house, but so many cats love to gather there that people call it a cat cafe. Mei tells Goru that they are trying to find a missing black cat, but Goru asks her seriously if the cat might be a ghost cat because such a spirit could be dangerous and hurt other people. Otojiro, Kyuka, and Kazumi all decide to help Goru by doing some cooking in the kitchen, turning the place into a lively mess. Meanwhile, Mei and Shanzo are sitting together when they are surprised because Mori suddenly shows up at Goru's house. During dinner, Mei happily enjoys the miso soup that Kyuka made for everyone. Otojiro and Kazumi both offer their special dishes to Mei too, wanting her to try everything they cook. However, Mori steps in and stops her from tasting Otojiro's sake and Yakumo's sliced pickles because he thinks they are not good for her. Later, while washing the dishes in the kitchen, Goru remembers the painful moment from his past when a ghost possessed his katana after he had no choice but to kill his own friend Satome, who had been taken over by that same ghost. Mei goes to help Goru wash the dishes, and while they work side by side, she asks him why his saber can reflect things that people normally can't see. Goru explains to her that his saber was actually reforged from an old sword he used to carry a long time ago. After they finish the dishes, Goru notices that Mei's kimono has been scratched by the playful cats, so he carefully sews it up for her. When he is done, he offers Mei a place in his division as a tamayori, but Mei refuses, saying that she believes spirits also have kind hearts and she doesn't want to fight them. After that, Shanzo, Otojiro, Kyuka and Kazumi, who are all a bit drunk, try to pull Mei away from Goru, not wanting her to spend too much time with him. Meanwhile, Ogai has a quiet talk with Goru and is surprised to hear that Mei turned down Goru's offer to join his tamayori division. Ogai points out to Goru that Mei has a special way of cheering up Shanzo, Otojiro, Kyuka, and Kazumi, even though they can be a weird and hard-to-handle group most of the time. Later that night, Mori sees Mei standing on the balcony, looking up at the moon. He wonders why she is staring at it like that so late. He feels a little sad when he thinks about how she will soon leave him. He decides to write a story for her, but deep down, he knows he is really writing it for himself. He hopes it will help him talk to her properly when the time comes. At the same time, Mei is thinking that the full moon is coming soon, and when it does, she will go back to her own time, just like she wanted from the start. But after spending time in this timeline, making lots of memories, and meeting new friends, Mei starts to feel that living won't be as easy as she first thought. Now, she just wants to stay by Mori's side for as long as she can. Later, she walks slowly through the quiet corridor and finds Mori's study room, but before she can go inside, she runs into Shanzo and Fumi. She smiles, tells them both good nights and then heads back to her own room. The next morning, Mei wakes up early and thinks to herself that if she goes to the sunroom right now, she might catch Mori without his clothes on. With that silly thought in her head, she quickly heads downstairs to look for him. On the way, she bumps into Shanzo and Fumi again. Shanzo asks her what she's been up to lately, but Mei doesn't know what to say and just stays quiet. After that, they all sit down at the breakfast table and Mei asks Shanzo if Mori will be joining them too. Shanzo tells her that Mori is busy with something this morning and might not come for breakfast. Mei asks if it's about a novel and Shanzo says yes, Mori is writing one. Mei wants to help and asks if there's anything she can do, but Shanzo tells her she can't. Just then, Mori walks into the room, and Mei quickly asks him if he's really writing a novel. Mori says yes and tells her it's a romance novel, and then Mei gets excited when she hears that it's a love story and her face lights up with joy. Shanzo looks at them and starts to feel like something is strange. After hearing a fun idea from Mei, Shanzo stands up and leaves the room. Later, Mei thinks about all kinds of love stories and what plot and story they should have. She gets so weird that even Fumi wonders what has gotten into her. Later, Mei and Fumi sit together and talk about what kind of love story Mori might be writing and how long he plans to stay locked up in his room. While they're chatting, Mei suddenly notices that Mori is taking a bath in the middle of the day, which feels a bit strange. She stands in front of the washroom door, thinking about how Mori once told her that he takes a bath twice a day, so maybe this is just normal for him. All of a sudden, the loud midday cannon goes off, making her jump. Right after that, a creepy-looking man walks into the mansion and asks if Mori is home. The man introduces himself as Okakura Tenshin and he says he's Ogei's drinking buddy and also Shansu's art teacher. He tells Mei that he's here to give a gift to Mori to show his strong support for both Mori writing a romance novel and Shanzo painting his black cat masterpiece. After that, he starts walking around the mansion, looking for Mori and wondering out loud if he's really started working on the love story. While talking to Mei, he shares that the story of Mori's novel is about a young man who travels to a faraway land and meets a girl there. Afterward, Mori arrives and Tenshin starts hugging him in a femboy type of way and asks Shanzo how his painting is going on, but without even listening for a reply, he quickly leaves. Mori also goes back to his study, where it's shown that he's stuck and can't think of what to write next. He has writer's block. Later that night, Mei wonders that the moon will be full soon, so she wants to spend as much time as she can until then. Suddenly, Charlie shows up in Mei's bedroom and reminds her that he can send her back to the modern world when the next full moon comes. But Mei tells him that she doesn't want to go back, she wants to stay in the Meiji era and live with Mori. After hearing her answer, Charlie smiles and leaves, saying that she doesn't have to leave if that's what she truly wants. Meanwhile, Mori is still stuck with his writing and can't get any words out. Just then, a spirit named Elise appears in his study and stops him from finishing his romance novel. After that, Mori looks at Elise and asks if she still holds any anger toward him, but she doesn't answer and simply disappears, leaving him in a panic. He starts to worry that if Elise won't let him write the novel, then the full moon will come soon, and May will vanish from his life. The next morning, May is outside playing with a cat and happily tells Shanzo that she's just asking the cat where his black cat is. Shanzo watches her and quietly wonders if the cat really understands what she's feeling. May smiles and tells him that cats can feel what people feel. Then she remembers what Charlie told her about the night before, that if she truly wants to stay, then she can. Suddenly, Mori shows up in front of May again and asks if she and Shanzo want to go out and eat some sweets with him. May's face lights up, and she happily says yes. As they travel together, Mori looks around and asks May why Shanzo didn't come along with them. May tells him that Shanzo said something about his stomach hurting. But in truth, Shanzo only made that up so May could spend some time alone with Mori and enjoy herself without anyone else around. Meanwhile, May and Mori arrive at a restaurant and May starts happily eating her dessert, enjoying every bite. Mori, on the other hand, just keeps quietly staring at her face without touching his food. May notices and asks him how his novel is coming along, but Mori doesn't give a clear answer and seems like he's struggling with it. May decides to change the topic as she tells herself not to ask him about the novel again and instead says she's wondering if Otojiro will end up playing the role of Shirayuki in the play that Kyuka wrote. Hearing that, Mori starts to feel upset again because May's words remind him of writing, even if she didn't mean it that way. May notices the change in his mood and quickly apologizes for bringing it up. Trying to lighten the moment, Mori orders some more soup for her. Then, he tells her that he's thinking about quitting writing altogether. May is shocked by his words and doesn't know what to say. Mori explains that he doesn't know how to write anymore, besides May is closer to him, so he doesn't have to write anymore. After hearing that, May feels bad and tells Mori that she would like to read his novel, but Mori says he can't write it. Afterward, they return to the mansion and May tells Mori that she doesn't know anything, so she can't do anything, but she wants him to keep writing his novel. Hearing that, Mori starts to feel upset again because May's words remind him of writing, even if she didn't mean it that way. May notices the change in his mood and quickly apologizes for bringing it up. Trying to lighten the moment, Mori orders some more soup for her. Then, in a calm but serious voice, he tells her that he's thinking about quitting writing altogether. May is shocked by his words and doesn't know what to say. However, May later asks Shanzo why Mori is writing such a painful story, and Shanzo quietly tells her that he's doing it for her. After hearing that, May starts to cry, feeling heartbroken that Mori is putting himself through so much pain just because of her. Wanting to see him, May decides to go check on him and heads to his room, but when she enters, she finds only a fountain pen lying there. Worried, she begins looking all around the mansion for him. That's when Fumi sees her and tells her that Mori has gone into town. However, as May tries to rush out to find Mori, Shanzo runs after her and stops her. He holds her back and tells her that she shouldn't do this. May, with tears in her eyes, says that she feels like she pushed Mori away and now she can't do anything while he's hurting because of her. Shanzo listens, then looks around and spots Mori standing alone beside a tree not far away. He points in that direction and tells May to go to him. Meanwhile, Mori is standing under the tree, smoking and seeing visions of Elise. He thinks to himself that if he stops writing, Elise will disappear completely. Mori looks at the vision of Elise and promises her that he won't write anymore. Right after saying that, he loses his strength and falls to the ground. But then, out of nowhere, May runs up to him and wraps her arms around him in a tight hug. Mori doesn't hug her back and tries to keep some distance, unsure of what to do. But May doesn't let go as she tells him that she loves him and that no matter what kind of story he writes, she will always be there to read it. As May holds Mori close, she promises that she will stay by his side forever, no matter what. She returns his fountain pen, placing it in his hand. Later, back at the mansion, Mori finally finds the strength to finish his romance novel, putting all his feelings into the story. While Mori completes his work, Shanzo begins to lose his eyesight as he pushes himself too hard, struggling to finish his black cat masterpiece. To get ready for the big party, Mori shows May the design of her shiny golden ball gown. He tells her that this is the dress she will wear at the event where he plans to introduce her to everyone. The people around them think May will look just like a princess in that dress. But Shanzo can't really see the design clearly because his eyesight is too bad, so he doesn't say much about it. After that, Fumi starts taking measurements for May's dress, and Mori tells Shanzo to help take the measurements too. But Shanzo tells both Mori and Fumi that they won't be able to measure her properly, so Mori ends up calling some professionals to do it instead. Later on, Fumi shows Mei a box full of Shanzo's brushes. One of them looks a lot like the bonito shaver, so it seems like Shanzo grabbed it by mistake when he was passing by. Mei remembers that Mori once told her Shanzo is an artist, so she gets curious and asks Fumi what school Shanzo goes to. Fumi tells her that it's the Tokyo School of Fine Arts, which is in Ueno Park, and jokes that he went there with her bonito shaving drawer instead of his paintbrush box. Meanwhile, at Shanzo's art class, he opens his paintbrush box and finds a piece of bonito inside. His friend Taiken laughs and teases him for bringing a bonito to art school, and soon the other students start laughing at him too. Suddenly, Mei shows up at Shanzo's art class and everyone gets shocked when they see that a loner like Shanzo managed to bring a pretty girl with him. The other students start teasing him right away, joking around about it, but Shanzo quickly grabs Mei's hand and runs out of the classroom with her. Once they're outside, he asks her why she came, and she tells him that she's just there to return his paintbrushes. Shanzo says he doesn't need the brushes anymore, but after a moment, he decides to at least take them back from her. Mei then says sorry for making it seem like she's his girlfriend. Just then, Taiken shows up and looks surprised as he asks Mei how someone like Shanzo, who he calls a trash head, could have a girlfriend. Mei quickly tells him that she's not Shanzo's girlfriend. After hearing that, Taiken starts flirting with her and tries to act smooth. He also asks if she brought the stuff Shanzo forgot earlier. Then, turning to Shanzo, Taiken reminds him that the exhibition is coming up soon, and if he stops painting now, all of his dreams and goals will end right there. Taiken talks about how he plans to revolutionize the art world at the next exhibition and make a big impact. He then asks Shanzo how his black cat painting is coming along and if it will be ready in time for the show. But Shanzo says that they won't be able to finish it. Taiken thinks for a second and realizes Shanzo might be saying that because of his bad eyesight, so he asks him if he's gone to see a doctor yet. Mei is shocked to hear that too, since she didn't know about his condition. After that, Taiken starts trying to fire up Shanzo, saying that if he just gives up now, then there's no way someone like Hishida Shanzo will be the one to change the art world. After that, Taiken pushes Shanzo away and firmly tells him to just go to a doctor before walking off. Later on, Mei quietly tells Shanzo that she had no idea about his eyes and asks him if it's really that bad. Shanzo replies that there's no guarantee his eyesight will get better. He explains that if he decides to go through with the surgery, there's a chance his eyes might heal, but if it doesn't work, he could end up completely blind. Scared of losing his sight forever, Shanzo throws away all of his drawings and tells Mei to just leave him alone. After that, Mei leaves, and Shanzo thinks he can't paint anymore or see the smiles of the people he loves. Feeling sad and full of regret, Shanzo is surprised when Mei comes back with all his drawings that he threw away, even though she had a hard time getting them. Mei reminds him that he promised to paint her and asks him to do it. Shanzo says his eyes hurt, but he still wants to paint her. He reaches out and touches her face, saying he always wanted to paint her. It turns out that this freak is even harder than a single mom's paycheck. Mei then spots the missing black cat, but it quickly runs away, so they both chase after it. The cat leads them back to the mansion, where it shows up again on Shanzo's finished painting. Mori sees the masterpiece and feels proud of Shanzo for completing it. He hugs him in excitement but then tells Shanzo to call Mei Madam Squirrel instead of Little Squirrel. Suddenly, Mei notices that the cat's eye looks like the moon, and right after, she suddenly falls. Mori quickly catches her before she hits the ground. As she holds on to him, Mei starts to remember everything clearly and tells Mori that her memories have come back. Mei remembers everything about her life in the modern day and who she really is. She recalls that her home is a small antique shop, and she lives there surrounded by old things. She says she used to have lots of friends who kept her company, but then she realizes that those friends were actually ghosts. That's when it hits her that she's different from everyone else. After that, she stopped talking to both humans and ghosts, trying to keep her distance from everyone. Still, every now and then, she would hear a voice calling her name, but she'd block it out by listening to music through her headphones. One day, when a girl invited her to come along with the group, Mei took off her headphones and heard that same ghostly voice again. As time went on, she realized that coming to this place had changed her into someone completely different. But then, she finally understood that this version of herself is the real her. Suddenly, Mei hears Charlie's voice and she realizes that the strange voice in her head was actually from Charlie. He tells her that she has changed a lot since coming to this time. She smiles more now. Charlie also says that tomorrow is the full moon and he was really happy when she said she wanted to stay here forever. Mei is just about to ask Charlie something, but before she can, there's a knock at her door. It's Fumi who tells her that Mori is looking for her. Meanwhile, Mori is in an even better mood than usual as he shows Mei her brand new dress. He tells her that it was made with true craftsmanship and care. Shanzo and Fumi also see the dress and are surprised by how nice it looks as they both say they really like the color. Mori then tells Mei that she'll get to wear it tomorrow night. After hearing that, Mei feels sad as she holds the dress tightly in her arms, says it's beautiful and then starts crying as she thanks Mori for making something so special for her. Mei then asks Mori if she can try on the outfit, and Mori gets even more excited, happily telling her to go ahead. After that, Mei puts on the golden ball gown, and when Mori sees her, he can't stop staring. He tells her she looks even more beautiful than a princess. Then he asks if she would like to dance with him and the two of them begin dancing together. The next day, Mei roams around the town for the one last time and later that night, Mori gets ready and knocks on Mei's door, saying they are going to go on ahead to the Rokamaikan. However, Mori decides to leave first, telling Mei that she should take the carriage and come to the Rokamaikan a little later. Meanwhile, at the Rokamaikan, the party is already in full swing and everyone is enjoying themselves. Otajuru walks up to Mori and asks if he's planning to introduce his fiancée at the event tonight, but says he doesn't see the girl anywhere. Just then, Kazumi shows up and laughs, saying that a girl always makes her entrance late. Suddenly, to everyone's surprise, Mei shows up at the party wearing her school uniform instead of the golden ball gown. Kazumi decides to make the first move and asks her if she'd like to dance with him. He also points out that she's wearing the same outfit she had on when she first came to this place. After their dance, Tosuk steps in and takes his turn with her. While dancing, he opens up and shares his thoughts and feelings with her. Then it's Otajuru's turn, but instead of acting like a gentleman, he starts flirting with her in a playful way. After Yakumo, Tosuk, Otojiro, Kyuka and Goru each share a waltz with Mei, Shanzo waits for her outside. Shanzo tells her that he hoped many times that her memories wouldn't come back as he wants her to stay. Afterward, Shanzo tells her that Mori is waiting for her in the park where they first met each other. Mei runs towards Mori without hugging Shanzo. At the park where Mei first met Mori, Mei feels that the park seems different from when she first arrived here. She then finds Mori, who asks her if she remembers everything, but Mei says that she has to do a lot of things thoroughly. Mori tells Mei to go ahead and finish off her things and tells her that she has changed a lot. Mei then hugs Mori and says she truly believes in herself because of him. After that, Mei and Otajuru keep flirting with each other for a bit, but soon Mei decides it's time for her to leave. Before she goes, she walks up to Mori and gives him one last kiss. Just then, Charlie arrives, and Mei tells him that she's ready to return to her own time. Charlie nods, and with a calm look, he sends Mei back to her original timeline. Afterward, she appears back inside her antique shop, safely returned to her own time. Later that night, she runs into the same school friends she used to avoid. One of them invites her to come along with them, and this time, Mei smiles and happily agrees, saying that she loves desserts. They all head out together, laughing and chatting. Meanwhile, back in the past, Otojiro, Kyuka, Goru, Yakumo and Tosuk invite Ogai and Shanzo to join them for a meal, planning to spend time together like old friends. Will Mei ever return to the Meiji era, or is her story truly over? Comment, Spirit, and let us know your thoughts. Make sure to like and subscribe the channel for more.